Hey, what's good? It's Open Book, and I just wanted to make some videos to share a bunch of the stuff that I've been learning, you know, over the past couple of years. You know, all of the things that I'm into, that I study, and if you know me, I go deep. So this is a chance to get to know me, get to know what I know, and for me to just share because I'll be chatting off my friends' ears, and sometimes they just don't care. But feels like it makes more sense for me to just put something out there for people who resonate with it to come and find it themselves, or to, shine a light, for people to come, like create a landing spot, for all these lost souls and niggas like me, shoot, I have a body, I'm a lost soul, or got lost in something, to end up here in this density. But, we'll make videos on that, and shit, further describe shit like that. But for now, what I wanted to talk about is epistemology and the power that words have, because people don't realize just even language itself is a fucking trap. It's a trap. And I don't care what you say, yo. It's a fucking trap because look at what I'm recording on. Is that a camera? Well, what's camera like about a camera, What does all of those letters have to do with camera? How does it relate to it in any way at all, Not really, So is it actually a camera, But whether it is or whether it isn't, you'll never be able to perceive beyond it. You will always be able to see it, only be able to see it as a camera, unless you speak different languages, But, I'm going to get into that, but definitely, especially English. English is a double fucking trap because English is technology. English is backwards. Everything in English is just, it doesn't make any sense. And growing up speaking English and living in English countries, you probably wouldn't fully even grasp that, because we have a bunch of words, but we have a bunch of smart and intelligent people, saying a bunch of big words, making you think it's such a versatile language. But when foreigners come here, even when you look at when you look at like American born or North American born immigrants and shit like that, they have a better grasp of English because they grew into it, and then their parents, spoke that back language. So it's kind of different. But look at the immigrants that came here from speaking a different language into a speaking English country, everywhere else, we kind of sound a little stupid, or at least American, I'm Canadian, living here, fucking GTA, Brampton. Y'all niggas don't know about that shit, but, yeah, Brampton's on the map now. Yeah. We on the up and up, open books living here, so you're about to be on the hump of motherfucking up, I can tell you that. But, yeah, what was I talking about? Fucking the energy signatures behind words. So, English is this trick language because you can get so lost. And as a rapper, you see this type of shit because you're constantly deconstructing words and trying to attach meanings to them and shit like that, moving them around. It's fucking wordplay. So you notice that some words, get to be bent in certain ways, and it's, you know, it's completely customizable. And I don't think you can rap like that in other languages. But then again, I don't know Spanish like that to fucking rap in Spanish or different rap, but I guarantee you won't be able to do the same shit that you do in English. Like, for example, even just with the slangs, common accepted terms, shit that y'all niggas would understand that I'm talking about. Like I can say, oh, I pulled over because my car needed some gas. Almost got pulled over when I was selling that gas. My girl told me my dick was big, so my head is gassed. I just use gas in three different ways. Meaning different things. But it was that one word. That one energy signature. So that's how people get confused. I don't think other languages are like that. But I haven't done my dive yet. But Spanish is up. Spanish, that's what I feel, you know, that sexy language, you know, I resonate with that shit, you know. But then I want to learn multiple shit. I heard stories of there was this one king, I couldn't tell you the name, but he would like say like on business, he would speak German, you know. For a lover, he would speak Spanish, you know, or for teaching, he would speak, you know, some other shit, you know. But utilizing the languages for the different things that they purposes that they serve and shit like that. But either way you look at it, any civilization or any language, you know, it's still trapped, putting what you can perceive into a box. Now, these are tools that we can use to communicate, definitely, but then you have to put, or at least consider who created English, you know, and why did they create English and what purpose does it serve, you know? Why did it design it this way to be so tricky, and uh, where did it come from, you know? I can tell you the roots of it, you know, everybody knows, you know, if you want to go back, you know, it came from, you know, Greek and well, Latin, but people don't realize that Latin was a Punic language, and where Latin actually came from. Uh, that's that's another video, but yeah, because then we're diving into history, not epistemology. But certain civilizations, let's show you the different types of languages and ways of communicating, to really break down for you to understand the energy signatures behind words and shit like that, you know. So we have very left brain languages and right brain languages. Say something like Arabic, where you hear that reverberation and shit like that. That's a right brain language. There's a lot of vowels, and it's all feeling. That's why something like the Quran, you know, if you were to get the English version of it, you're losing so much. Just like in anything, you know, if you watch anime or anything with subtitles, there's so much meaning lost, you know, when you're trying to translate it, you know, because the energy signatures behind the words are different, you know, because just different symbols, different sounds and shit like that. I don't know if you ever noticed or really took into consideration, or noticed, yeah, what how birds communicate. They don't use any vowel sounds. It's all, you know, chirping, you know, you know, it's all, you know, like high sounds. It's all consonants. And birds are the most intelligent communicators on earth, the way that they communicate with each other. And that's completely, you know, left brain, you know. They're and the way they communicate, or the things they communicate about, you know, they're not talking about feelings and shit like that, you know. They're talking about migration or where to go and shit like that, you know. More direction, more cooperation, and what, you know, people are doing, or what they're doing and shit like that. But look up what a bear or a fucking lion does, or how they sound. They roar, you know. It's all vowels. It comes from the gut, you know. But they do that for intimidation and shit like that. Go around the bear and start, you know, growling, or some shit like that. It's gonna get aggressive on your ass. It's gonna start growling too, you know, because that's that energy signature. It's emotions and shit like that, you know. It's on that side. Now take a look at civilizations now, where if you were to look at ancient Egypt or Kemet, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, you know, they wrote in hieroglyphics, or Metu Neter, and it is a language that doesn't consist of vowels, you know. There's Metu Neter and hieroglyphs, and, you know, it's basically the same thing, but, you know, when you transfer it to letters and stuff like that, there are no vowels that are being used, you know. And if you were to really think about it, they were our right brain civilization. They were spiritual, you know. They had knowledge of, you know, all the esoteric information. Everybody went to Egypt, you know, to get the esoteric information, or to study from the people there, you know. But Egypt and all of that, that's another video, because, you know, you can go deep in that on its own. But they could see your emotions, just like how we have clairvoyant people here, you know. If you were to be, say, you just got kicked out of your home, you know, your girlfriend, you know, shafted you or something like that, you would have a literal shaft in your aura, you know. Or if you're a science junkie in your electromagnetic field, you would see the disturbance, you know. But it's all the same shit. Aural electromagnetic field, toroidal flows. That's your aura. That's your, you know, um, your different bodies that you're projecting, you know. That's your chakras, you know, expanding, you know. That's what it all is. And they were able to see that, you know, with the food they were eating. They were different. Their way of life was more, you know, with earth and connected and shit like that. So they were able to see that shit. They would have kids that were born that would be able to see this shit, you know, instead of, you know, you would have to learn and break down mental barriers for you to actually be in touch with earth the way that we grew up and shit like that. So they didn't need to talk about emotions and shit like that because you can see it. You can literally see the emotional state. It was more about how are we gonna cooperate and and stuff like that. That's why you see all of these pictures. They're just showing you what they were doing, you know? They can't, you know, put all of the emotional things. They're just showing you because they were just doing it, you know? And it probably seems like it's probably like the right brain of the left because you have to understand there's a yin and yang to everything, you know? Because I'm male doesn't mean that I'm consist of only male energy. That would just mean that, you know, it's just positive energy. I consist of positive and negative energy. So there's the male, the positive, and the negative energy that consist of me, the male overall, you know, the positive energy between the, you know, human race, and then a woman would have her own yin and yang, you know. So if we were to look at it that with that aspect, now look at the left brain. So when there's left brain, there's probably, you know, super left and, you know, closer to the right. Even if you were to look on a spectrum level instead of, you know, completely separate, you know, the closer you get to the left, you know, the more left you get, but you can still be on the left side and be close to the right, you know. So there's a there's a balance to it, but look at all of these civilizations that didn't have script or leave, you know, words behind. You know, they often get overlooked, like the Mayans, you know, and Egypt did the same thing, you know, drawing the pictures, but they had hieroglyphs and papyrus, it started getting more, you know, detailed, but look at all of the native tribes and the Aboriginal groups and the fucking Mayans, you know. The Mayans left calendars, stuff, and monuments and shit for us to interpret and shit like that. But, you know, it's, they don't use language the way that we're using it now, you know, because, you know, their perception was greater because they were more connected. They didn't need to describe everything because they were more a part of things, if you get what I mean. But now we're in this, I guess if you were to look at that, English is kind of balanced with the left and right brain, but you know, it's balance probably makes it easier for us to get lost in it, if you get what I mean, because it's so stable between the left and the right brain, you know. It's easy to trick people, you know, or it's easy to design it to manipulate people. Technology, that's what English is. But let's go into specific words and show you how you can break down words and understand them, or the energy signature behind words, you know. Look at I. Look at I am, you know. What else is I, you know? Your I, and I as in me, you know, the perceiver, you know. Through your eyes, you perceive. Through the eye, you know, that singularity too. It's just a line, you know. It represents one, you know, an individual experience, you know, and you perceive that individual experience through your eyes. Then I am. Look what they use am for. AM, no? For morning time, right? So saying I am, it's like it's like you're stamping time, if you get what I mean, or you're saying that, you know, at this present time, you know, this is what I am. That's kind of giving your energy to something. When you're saying I am this or I am that, you know, you're you're going further into the light. You're going further into the distractions, the things that you can get lost in, because you are not any of those things. You are just I am. Look in the Bible when fucking God told Moses, I am who I am. Or yeah, I am who I am. If you look at how I just explained it, look what he's actually saying. I am who I am. He is the perceiver of the perceiver, or he's, himself perceiving himself. That's basically what God is. An energy that's projecting out itself to experience itself, and we are all part of that expansion of it experiences. But that's a different video. We're getting into the epistemology, but that's the energy signature behind it. And there's positives and negatives to the AM too. But it's probably just better for you to just say I am, because that's what you are. You are something that could be things, but not the things itself. Just you have the power to be those things based on, what you resonate with. Just as long as you don't get lost in thinking that you're those, because then you get trapped, and that's when you get into routines and doing shit that you don't want to do, and you putting your spirit in uncomfortable situations. It's like you can avoid that. Look at other words, like one is this interesting one, Obama Nation. When Obama was president, take in how it's an abomination. Abomination. So it's like, what were they even trying to say? That's more of like a term. It's not like that was around for a long time. Somebody coined that for Obama's campaign. But if you don't know that they're all fucking puppets being strung on that level by now, and that Obama is just a motherfucking puppet. All of them were, all of Western stuff. I'm not even, that's a different video. But why would they say abomination? Is it an abomination that a black man is running the country, or is it something that they're saying that it's never gonna happen again, or maybe they handed Obama an abomination, something like that. But just look at the energy signature behind the words. If they sound similar, there's a reason. It's all backed and supported by certain concepts and feelings and thoughts and emotions and shit like that. That's why it's important to be aware of it or stay away from it. If you don't know what you're using, create your own motherfucking language. Like, that ass. Like, what the fuck do you think they were doing? They're just creating their own languages. Somebody created English. What's stopping you from creating your own? You know, Perceiving things how you want them to perceive. Think about that, or at least raising your kids like that. What if you were to teach your kids English and shit, like they have to fucking communicate and shit like that? What if you had your own language at home? Your own, little unspoken thing. You're just broadening your child's perception while broadening your own. Parents need to start thinking like that, man. Like, shit. But that's a different video. Fucking bless you, be less you. Why would you say be less to someone? Black, be lack. Being dark and melanated, I don't feel like I like anything. Why would I be lack? And that's how original Asiatic black men, well, you would call me black, they didn't call themselves black. They had their own languages, their own words. They called themselves their own thing. Until English came along. This illusion of white supremacy that, it's not even white supremacy, but, I can get into that in a different video. But look at fucking history, his story. They're giving us his story, but passing it off as the collective. But my story, mystery. Your story is a mystery, because they're giving you his story and telling you that it's your story, but it's not. And that could be, look at words like horizon or horoscope. If you know anything about Egypt, Horus, the Egyptian god, the sun god. horoscope, horizon. They're naming it after him. They're using, that energy signature. Those words are backed and supported by his energy signature, the energy signature of the sun, you know? And I can even tell you this fucking story about how the N-word came around. If you listen to Kendrick, you probably know this or heard it. I don't hear enough people talking about it, but everybody's claiming Kendrick. Oh, the Pimple Butterfly was dope. But they'll be saying, it's like nobody paid attention to the shit he said. What was it? And he was talking about the niggas. Well, there was a couple of memes and shit like that, but that was some deep shit. But even before that, before I heard that, I heard of Nagas, and Naga meant Serpent King. And there was this fucking Hindu legend or this mythology about these Serpent Kings, these blue beings that people call Serpent Kings. If you don't know what the serpent represents, that's the Kundalini energy, the snake rising up the spine, all of your chakras awakening and aligning, and you really using your full power as a you know spirit in a body. Basically, that's what it represent, Naga. And the Japanese gave that name to melanated people, and in the past, because of their ability to align themselves, so they gave them that nickname, Naga. Naga. I'm giving you these words to show you where nigger and shit came from. And then going to what Kendrick was talking about, Negus. That's what they called the leader, the emperor in Ethiopia. And then you look at fucking the Nile. Look at Nigeria. This prefix is being used all over. These words, these things, these energy signatures are being used all over, and it's positive stuff. It's not negative connotation. It's all positive. And if we look at the root of it in Medu Neter in Egypt, where a lot of these languages come from and shit like that, the Punic shit. But it's getting too deep. But when you look at Medu Neter, what they even called God was represented by NTG, well, for what we perceive. Netger, that's what they called God. That's what they called God. And obviously at that time, y'all don't really understand there was a time where the whole world was black, where all of us were black. White people right now are just a different branch of black people. Same thing with Asians and all of that, but that's a different video, But just to show y'all that you really should be aware of the words that you're using and the energy signatures that are behind them, because the words are powerful, man. I'll make more videos to show y'all, just how those words affect and like put it into real life situations. But just a warm up video, just show y'all, give y'all a little taste of what's gonna happen and what you're gonna get. It's open book. See you next time.